Alright guys, good evening. Welcome to another late night stream. So it's not quite that late, just 11:15 around here. Yeah, as you see, I'm doing U-Boat again. My favorite since quite a while. And we are roaming the Canadian coast, as you see in the title. And this is the first time that I do the double streaming to YouTube with okay quality. So I tweaked around a little bit with my streaming software, and I finally managed it. You might have recognized that my YouTube stream was only small screen and kind of vertical, not quite nice, and here I am now having the full screen stream also on YouTube. So welcome guys. Also you guys from YouTube. Yeah, okay. So, a few people already assembling. Good evening, guys. Nice to have you in. So, let me briefly show you what the situation is. It is evening, 10:30, and in mid of April. Of course, you would think that at 10:30 it should be dark. The point is that we are at the Canadian coast, and we are actually, it seems to be like we are going with Berlin time still. So that means when you move away from Germany westward, sunrise gets later and sunset gets later, so you get some kind of a parallel shift of sunrise and sunset. Which at least shows that they have a wonderful model. Would be even nicer if you would have the two times, local time and Berlin time or Greenwich time or whatever. But pretty nice to see that they have modeled this in the game. So looking at the map, here we are, Canada, New York, Boston, Halifax, Sydney, and St. John's. So all the way. Our home port actually is La Rochelle by now. We are in the middle of the war, mid-April 42, which means that the war is already 2.5 years old. And what I do here is I do the complete playthrough of the war campaign, which means that I started in September 1939 with the small Type 2, low range, few torpedoes, bad performance mini submarine, and then started to do missions, started to become successful, finally got an upgrade, and now I am the proud captain of a Type 7C with decent range, decent top speed, decent number of torpedoes, armament, everything. The Type 2 that you start with doesn't even have a deck gun. And I went through a lot of these little sub-campaigns, and finally I was able to get the accomplishment of the milk cow for the very first time. Never had that before in the game, although I played since 5 years and pretty intensely since a year. But still, now first time, and yesterday night it was the first time that I actually, 2 nights ago was the first time that I actually made use of a milk cow. And so that means we did all the travel over the Atlantic, refueled here, and then got into our target area and started sinking ships there, fulfilling our mission goals. And now I'm going back to the milk cow area, and my idea is again to refuel and first and foremost to rearm, because we are almost out of torpedoes, and then maybe do a little bit more roaming here. And maybe in this single run we might be able to fulfill this first level of this Operation Drumbeat and get the reward in terms of reputation and in terms of budget. Hey Paul, good evening. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? How was your Friday? Hope you had a smooth slip into the weekend. Yeah, as for me, it was okay. So, a bit of work, but not too stressy, to be honest. So, that was perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's Friday, so yeah. Last week it was pretty deserted. That was Halloween. Hey, Josh, evening. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? Did you have a good Friday? Slipping into the weekend? What's up? Yeah, nice to have you with us. So, now I have to remember how this mechanics of the milk cow do work. But let's first do a little check of the status of the boat. So, battery is full, fuel is down to 80%. That would be well enough to bring us back over the Atlantic, back home. But I would refuel, but primarily get more torpedoes. Discipline is alright, but it's slightly going down, and you see the fatigue level is pretty high. It's 10. So I really have to consider when I come back home if I have to send the crew on shore leave to reset the fatigue level. This fatigue really drains discipline over time. Yeah, we are going with cruise speed. We are on the surface. We have just a bit of moisture in the yeah, okay. Yeah, I just have that in mind from this enormous advertising campaign from, hey, what was the name of that beer company? Budweiser, right? Wasn't it Budweiser? Years ago. And, well, let's see, what about the torpedoes? So we fired all the torpedoes, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 12 torpedoes. And most of them did hit. It's classic, yeah, it was Budweiser, right? That's a classic. So we fired all front torpedoes. I think the stern torpedoes, let me see. Yeah, we fired one stern torpedo and sank one of the escorts. Yeah, actually, I pretty much like the Czech beer, the Czech Pils, the Czech lager. I like it better than the German Pils, the German lager. It's a bit, has a more malty taste, and usually a bit more of a hops flavor, and then it's this color, not just yellow, but a bit of this kind of amber color. That's what I think what the Czech beer is like. Yeah, they are. I think the Czech beers, they are not as bitter. They partly they are not as bitter as a German lager, but they have more aroma hops actually. Yeah. Luckily, also the German brewers started to overthink their policy in the last years, and by now there is also quite some German beers with nice hops flavor, not just bitterness. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is a wide variety in Germany as well as in Czechoslovakia. Sorry. Shit. Sorry, no offense taken. The Czech Republic, that's what I mean, of course. Sorry, guys. Any guys from there listening, you are rightfully pissed off. Mea culpa, please excuse me. Yeah, I have to admit I couldn't judge it. Put it long ago that I ever drank Holsten. I grew up with Bitburger Pils, actually. That's just from the area, and well, and yeah, as I grew up between Düsseldorf and Cologne, but closer to Düsseldorf, it was also, well, this, yeah, dark ale that people drink there. They call it Altbier. Actually, being some dark ale, I pretty much like it. But yeah, I think it's not to everybody's taste. Still. Okay, what kind of bug is it? I think I didn't quite get what you mean. But let me not forget my job here. I want to radio for the milk cow, for the supply ship. Let me see. Yeah, I come from a city next to Düsseldorf, actually. And yeah, the society there is kind of split. Part of people drinking pills, the other part drinking dark ale. Okay. That's weird. So, what about the request resupply?
Funkspruch erhalten.
Nearest resupply opportunity is possible at CD4 square. Please move to this area and send a request again to receive the rendezvous coordinates. Okay. back to your routine, which is off watch actually, so take a nap. You need it. Yeah, we see this guy has his fitness bar pretty far down, so it's good for him to take a nap so he doesn't break down during action. Getting dark. And on we roam through the darkness ahead. Yeah guys, nice to have you in the stream. Good evening. Just started something like 20 minutes ago, but I am in the middle of a mission and I actually fulfilled the mission by sinking tons of ships around here, and I'm almost there fulfilling this first stage of Operation Drumbeat, so I'm really thinking about getting a few more torpedoes at the resupply ship and turn back and do a little bit more patrolling along the coast, although officially my mission is already fulfilled. Ah, nice. Okay, from Wales. I've never been in Wales, but I imagine it to be pretty beautiful. This summer I went, for the very first time, I went to Ireland and we did some hiking there. Yeah, before I had been in Scotland. Yeah, I actually did some holiday there and I also spent a year. But that's quite a few years ago. A year in Scotland. But yeah, I never spent much time in England, or yeah, neither in Wales, I have to admit. Although I'm pretty sure it's worthwhile to go there. Yeah, somehow the Irish accent is somehow similar to the Scottish. So I'm not very good with accents, but I think I'm doing fairly well with the Irish accent. If it's just an accent, if they're really starting to do their dialect, then I'm lost at once. But yeah, I like this accent. By the way, when I was living in Stuttgart, I lived in a shared flat with an Irish girl for something like 2 years. Yeah, yep. I think you could do wonderful hiking there. On the other hand, when you grow up, you might get kind of fed up with all the countryside, I guess. But I'm sure I would love it. So, talking about time acceleration, let's see that we get to the area where the milk cow is patrolling.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ah, interesting, yeah. And on we go. Ah, it's a bit warm. Yeah, in the last days it was getting pretty cold around here, so I turned on the heating, but yeah, right now it gets a bit warm here in my little computer room. Or let's call it office. Sounds more serious. So, yeah, navigation. Let's do some navigation again. Hey, weight loss, good evening. Great to have you in. So, how are you? Did you have a good day? I saw you streaming again today from my mobile account. What kind of game is this? What you do there? You're running through aisles which look like Next Generation Enterprise, and are shooting some kind of sausages. I mean, the weapons and everything looks perfectly realistic. And yeah, only your enemies are kind of, yeah. Symbolic, I would say. Hot dog. Ah, okay, so what you shoot at is actually the hot dogs then, right? Yeah, okay, interesting point. But that was funny because I saw that. I think you were handling a Heckler and Koch HK. Yeah, but what is it? MP5 or something? The, wasn't it the submachine gun from Heckler and Koch? And it looked so realistic. And then these sausages came around the corner. Carrying on. Let's see, when do we have sunrise? Yeah, we already have some light over the horizon in the east, but not yet the sun rising. Let's see when it comes up. Let's do some more time acceleration, half an hour. And there we are. So 8:30 is the sunrise around here, but according to something like Berlin time. Ah, okay. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, well, yeah. What do you think about that discussion we had a few years ago about the G36? I mean, is it really as bad as they talked it? My impression was that it was kind of a bit of a fake discussion, making, yeah, much ado about not much. Yeah, right. That was also my impression. I never had it in my hands. Well, when I was with the army, we still had the G3, and I think the G3 also was a good gun. Yeah, yeah, I think that was a plot, yeah. And she survived it and grew even stronger, yeah. Well, however, I usually try to keep politics out of the chat, but maybe these things are so long ago by now. Ah, can you do that? So if you use a blank, does it create enough propulsion to do that? That's amazing. I kind of like the gun. I mean, I don't have any comparison. I mean, in my whole life, I only fired this G3, so I have no comparison.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
But I was pretty amazed. I did like the sights, this circular sight, so it was pretty amazing if you had a good gun, how well you could aim and hit targets on quite some distance. Okay, there we are in the area.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Now we can go for the radio room again, and let's see that we get some rendezvous point with the milk cow. So please, headquarters.
Funkspruch erhalten.
Rendezvous coordinates added to the map. Okay, and we have to be there within 1 day. Okay, just the same position as it was. Hey, come on, now we can go flank. Save the game. Yeah, do a new save W190. Let's go. Hey, to viewers on YouTube, welcome guys. So you have the experience of me streaming on YouTube for the first time in that decent format. So welcome guys. Nice to have you in. So all of you, don't hesitate to use the chat. This is why I do this. Well, on the one hand, because I love gaming in general, because I love this game in particular, and because I love to communicate with all of you guys. But yeah, as I used to say, don't feel pushed. If you just want to watch silently, perfectly fine. Hey, weight loss, I didn't know that. That was actually the reason why they were talking shit about the G36, yeah? Okay, I never heard these details. Well, it kind of makes sense. So don't use it in the desert. Yeah. And yeah, well, that was for the G3, just the same. Just had to remove 2 or 3 pins, and yeah, it was really easy piece of cake to field strip that gun. Now let's go flank. We can refuel anyway. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there we go. Hey guys, look at this. I really love the graphics of the game and the atmosphere, how they actually simulate the sea and the boat cutting through the waves, the spray going up, reflections, the foam. Only thing that I am missing is to have a bit more of a wake. I mean, if you go like that, you should have a much longer wake, I think. In real life you would have. Hi, Aqua Icing. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Good evening. How are you doing? Did you have a good day? Yeah. Yeah, my day was alright. Was not too stressy. Friday, first half of the day, I used to have quite a few meetings. I scheduled them, so it's all online meetings, and I scheduled them on Friday. So Friday is my home office day, which means that the morning is pretty packed with online meetings, and then in the afternoon I, well, do things which I didn't manage to do over the week, and usually it's a relatively early end of work on Fridays. Friday is pizza day, so my job is it to create a DIY pizza for the family. And yeah, that's it. So my son is happy when I call it a day early so that he can use my computer here in the afternoon for gaming. Yeah, the development of this military equipment, it has an enormous lead time, I guess. So, would be nice if it would still be daytime to approach that supply ship.
Navigation besetzen. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Yeah, like all the wonderful weapons that you have in DayZ, right? Is this the YouTube channel related to that game which is coming up? Nobody knows when, but having these amazing sorry, these amazing clips. Okay, something else, just coincidence. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the sun is still up. Yeah, thank you.
Mastspitze, kleine Gruppe, Peilung 355 Grad. U-Boot 355 Grad.
Alright, that's them. Don't get eyes on them yet.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
About the XCOM series. Yeah, I love that XCOM series. And I might have mentioned it, particularly I love that very first version from the 90s. I think it was early 90s. Okay, so he is discussing the content of all the MRE rations that there are. that's amazing. Yeah, we were pretty fond of the German MRE rations that you got back then during my military service. There was nice stuff in it. Yeah, but yeah, quite some time ago, I have to admit. I don't know. And yeah, the Panzerplatten, yeah. Yeah, there were these pieces of, yeah, kind of cookies or a biscuit in the rations, and yeah, the soldiers used to call them something like tank platings, or how you say Panzerkuchen. Yes. So that's them. By the way, let's do a little bit of cinematic viewing to give you an impression of what that guy looks like. So it's quite a fat boy. And yeah, he has a lot of torpedoes, fuel, everything, food, and we can get all that from this friend here. Ah, okay. Yeah. And there we are, coming in. This little black dot over there, that's us. So what is it? Diesel Essen? Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big one, yep. So there it is, but it's still too far. We have to get closer. Yeah. Yeah, they stuffed it just anywhere. You remember that phrase from the movie? when the navigator says they should clear the map table and says, "I can't navigate on bananas." One of my favorite quotes. Yes, yeah. And they give a bit of an impression on this also in the game. Like here we have some sausages and bacon hanging around. Like here as well. Bananas there. So that's pretty nice. They really have some nice details in the game, which, at least for me, it's a wonderful immersive thing. Hey, if it's in a can, that would be amazing if the diesel odor would get into a tin can. We are getting in. We are moving too fast. Speed down. Yeah, come on. Let's actually stop. Now there we are. And there is even a guy there on their bridge. So, give it a save. Better safe than sorry. And now, let's first briefly think about what we need. Potatoes, like that. Yeah, come on, that should do for now. Yeah, interesting. Good question. If there is really no air within the tin and only like kind of liquid content, I think you could drop it pretty deep before it would pop. Actually, the air is what makes it weak, makes it being compressed. That's my guess. So, let's interact, send a delegation again. Who's gonna go? I usually send... Nah, not Mr. Schneider. Let's send Mr. Grade. Mr. Ahlers. And the bosun, Mr. Tremmel. And 6 hands. And there they go. Yeah, it would just be bad if right now there would be a air raid. But out here that's pretty low probability. Here we are. How is your service going? Sorry for your loss. Now let's see their cargo. Nice, some bread. We could get more cheese. We could top off our sausages And yeah, let's get some bread. Let's get some bread like that. Items. Nah, that's it. Ah, shit. They just have 4 torpedoes, have they? Yeah, but still, better than nothing. Refuel. Yeah, but that's a bit of a disappointment. Only 4 torpedoes, but what would you expect? They also have limited space. Did I fire the deck gun, the flak? No, I didn't. Food, I did. Equipment is fine, so I think I can go like that. Just 4 torpedoes. And let's return. Yeah, they respawn. Okay, so I could right away go back. Like if I get the stuff on board, and now I could go back over there and get more torpedoes right away. Yeah, that's a bit of exploiting a bug, isn't it? But maybe I'm gonna do it anyway. Give it a save. And then try once more. Send another delegation. Mr. Grade, Mr. Arles and Mr. Trummel and the 6 hands again. And there we go. Nighttime by now. That's a bit reassuring because at night it's still much less probable to get picked up by an air patrol. Yeah, come on, let's get them. That's decent. Torpedoes, fuel is fine, ammo. Yep, we can do it like that and return to the ship. Yeah, I'm very proud that now, meanwhile, I am, for the first time tonight, able to do a decent parallel stream also on YouTube. Although if I look at the YouTube stream, it's not highly frequented. And YouTube guys seem to not be pretty much inclined to have a nice, decent chat. Yeah. Let's get the stuff. Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, might well be. I mean, this one here is still some kind of secret tip, or well, not too many people watching it. Not very popular. So shall we see that we get one more set of 4 torpedoes? Would I really want to do it? Well, now that we are here, why not give it another save? Get the bread there. I could still do 16 pieces of cheese. Yeah, okay, alright. So, once more. Send another delegation. I think if I send more sailors, maybe things are gonna go faster. I'm not quite sure if it is like that. Okay, of course, this is a bit, well, let's give this one to the stern. And return to our ship. Do the loading. So, let's go back to the coast and do a bit more patrolling around there. Yeah, halbe Fahrt, cruise speed.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
And yeah, give it another save. And let's go back to the coast and see that we hunt down some more targets.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Okay, that's fine. 3 different types of food. Yeah, it would bring us back to 100% of discipline within 7 days. So it takes a while. By the way, guys, great to see that there are more people coming into the stream, streaming into the stream. Well, calling it streaming is maybe, oh wow, yeah, maybe I would call it streaming. That's great. Guys, nice to have you in. I'm just a small streamer. Having so many people with me, that's really flattering. Thanks for being in. So we are just on our way. We met a milk cow here, supply submarine, so that we got refueled and primarily got all our torpedoes reloaded. And now I'm gonna turn back to the coast to do a few more taunts. So we are on Operation Paukenschlag, Operation Drumbeat. And yeah, our job is to sink merchants in these areas, yeah, out of the coast of Canada. And we already did pretty fine. So we need something like 7,000 more tons. So 2 more ships and we might have reached this first level. So, well possible to do this in this mission here on this patrol before we go all the way back to over the Atlantic to our home port. If we can resupply at this mobile supply ship here, why doing all the traveling back? Yeah, we did sink quite a lot of ships. By the way, there was this stationary convoy around here. I would be pretty curious if it still would be there if we went there. I guess not.
Zeit für eine Auszeit.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Endlich ein paar Stunden Pause. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Hey, Vulvulu. Great to have you in. Good evening. How are you doing? How was your day? Hope you had a smooth slip into the weekend. Or do you have to work? Yeah, great to have you in again. Welcome to the stream. So what you see is that we are still cruising the waters, the Canadian waters, coastal waters. And I just
Torpedorohr 5.
refilled our torpedo stores at the Milk Cow submarine, and now we are going back to the coast, and maybe we can sink a few more ships so that we fulfill that first level of Operation Paukenschlag. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm enjoying the late night stream as usual. Had a good evening with the family, and now, well, they went to bed. Or, well, maybe my daughter probably also still online upstairs. I think she was still doing some Minecraft. Or maybe Valorant.
Melde mich zum Dienst.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Natürlich, Herr Kanon.
CC. Let's see which port ones are actually belonging to CA, CB. But not CC. What about BB? Does BB belong to? Yes, it does. So let's see that we get up there, and then we are in the area. BB. Yeah, there should be some convoys passing along the Canadian coast.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
So it's lunchtime by now. I mean, in game, it's lunchtime. It's a completely flat sea. Look at that. That's pretty seldom. And just 2 knots of wind speed, flat sea, yeah, lightly clouded sky.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, that's pretty seldom that you have this flat sea, no wave, almost no wave at all. Yeah, look at that. I could look at that, watch that for hours. No worries, I'm not gonna do that for hours. But, oh, yeah, the spray, the bow waves. I love that. So,
Herr Kapitän,
while we are just pushing along this perfectly flat sea, maybe let's just have a little trip through the boat. So what do we have here? The head. And yeah, that's the bow torpedo room. Mr. Schneider is just doing maintenance on torpedo tube. Which one is it? 2, 3, tube 1 up there, upper right. And this is the off-watch crew taking a nap and relaxing. And there he goes. I love that. Wonderful details.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Yeah, this is the officers' bunks. The mess. And the listening hydrophone. Radio station and the captain, Mr. Lamprecht, in his comfortable bunk. He even has this curtain to give him great privacy. And here we are in the operation center. Mr. Lawrence at the helm. The 2 depth steers are unmanned, of course. The valves, the map, echo sounder. The pump. And this is the petty officer's mess. Yeah, you see they're just having whatever time we have. And the galley, Mr. Otto. And yeah, the big babies, the diesel engines. That's the team of Mr. Grada, our chief engineer, caring for getting the maximum out of the engines. And our 2 compressors, the diesel compressor and the electric compressor, to make sure that we could refill the compressed air that we need to get the water out of the ballast tanks when we want to get back to the surface. So, breech door to the stern torpedo. So that's it. I find this so immersive. And by the way, what can we do? We can also get up to the bridge. This is the conning tower with the periscope. The tower, yeah, here are all the gauges and the targeting computer. And getting up to the bridge. Yeah, you have this step. You can step on this to be a bit higher. To watch across the bulwark. Yeah, and we do have the improved conning tower already, so we have 2 air guns that we can man in case. And what you see here, that's the snorkel that we could use when we are on periscope depth. We could still, yeah, get fresh air and even could run the diesels down there. By the way, one thing that I never tried, I have to admit, is how fast you can go when you're submerged. Let's try that. That's a good point in time to try it. Let's go to periscope depth, guys.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
So what's happening? The depth steers are going to be manned, and you see Mr. Dremel opening the valves, which means that now seawater is going to stream into the ballast tanks. And there we are, starting to dive. Now,
Wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe.
periscope depth.
Eingesteuert. Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, you remember that scene from Apocalypse Now? When they are napalming the whole jungle and playing that song. In the background. It's the final scene, isn't it? When they are napalming that camp of Mr. Kurtz, of what was he? Captain Kurtz, Colonel Kurtz, I don't remember. Yeah, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yep, that was this mad guy who wrote the attack on that village with these helicopters, right? Was it him? Quoting that. The guy who was discussing how the waves are and who went in with these big speakers playing Wagner. Yeah, it's definitely, that's 100% confirmed. It's definitely AN, Apocalypse Now, yeah. So here we are, and now I would like to extend the snorkel. So please give the order, and now some crew hand has to carry it out. Let's see who's gonna do it. Yeah. So how does it look like? Nicely animated. Getting up the snorkel.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Hey, hey, weight loss, please. I would be pretty glad if you would leave this kind of, yeah, recent political discussion out of the stream. Sorry, but just saw in real life how, yeah, these kind of discussions kind of escalated because of the, yeah, strong positions of all the related parties. Yeah, this is like no politics, no religion. So now here we are. We are getting air in. Crew. The anti-radar snorkel gives us plus 60 fresh air per minute. And now let's see. I've never tried that. Can I turn on? Yeah, they are running the diesel right now. And we are going.
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
Yeah, 10. Let's see now then. When we go flank speed, I think it would be unrealistic if the boat would be able to go the same speed underwater, which it would go above the water. Yeah, okay, sorry, I don't know what you were referring to. It's only that there are a few, yeah, hot topics at the moment. So there we go. All right, but that's nice. So they have that. So we are submerged, we are going flank speed, and we are definitely not going the full speed that we would be going when we were on the surface. So we are going 13 knots. If we were at the surface, we would go flank speed 17 knots. All right, yeah. Looks pretty nice. Now, yeah, nice try. Let's get back to the surface, guys.
5 Meter.
Yep. Yeah, that would be good. I mean, now I'm getting back to the surface, but I think in the game you could also, yeah, you could extend and retract the snorkel while being submerged, and this is something like, I could well imagine that you could only extract and put down the snorkel when you're on the surface. Like now, if you look at how it works, the snorkel has to be tilted forward, and I don't think that you could do this against the pressure of the water when you are diving and go in flank speed. Yep. All right. Yeah, right. Weight loss. I think. Don't think that it could be done while submerged. Yes. Yeah. And of course, this makes a big difference with respect to the strategy, how to use it. Yeah, and we still have this perfectly flat sea. So let's carry on towards the BB9 range, and from there on, sunk tonnage would now count for Operation Drumbeat. It's this here, the BB9, BB8, BB7, and then here the CB area. That's the area where sunk tonnage actually does count for Operation Drumbeat. So let's get there and do some sinking. History is too complicated to make realistic video games. That's a good point, yep. That's a good point, but, well, the good point is that most of the players, like for example me, just have basic knowledge, and so for us it feels perfectly fine. And even though it's a simulation, and simulations are always kind of also simplifying things, so it's just like for the gameplay, for the fun of the gameplay, you have to simplify the right things to keep the immersion deep, but simplify what you cannot simulate. And sometimes there are also, often in simulations, there are features, if you would implement them one-to-one, it would be kind of showstoppers, fun breakers in the game. Yeah, good point. Which one is that combat mission? What is it? I have to admit that I think I haven't heard of that one. So here we are. In the area. Yeah, let's get a little bit further in, then do some yeah, you too narrow a niche, yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. DCS, that's this flight simulator, isn't it? Which comes basically for free, and then you pay for the flight, for the plane models, right? Yeah, sounded. And so is it something like, Paul, is it round based or real time, or, well, probably top down map thing, right? No simulation, or don't slip into the view of the soldiers or the tanks of the planes, but you do it from top level, I would guess. Yeah, 3,900 euro. Yep. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. Yeah, I played DCS some time ago, But yeah, somehow it didn't catch me at that time. I am not playing flight simulators since a while. There is one flight simulator that I have been playing a lot, which is Rise of Flight. Anybody knows that one? Rise of Flight. It's First World War biplane stuff. Yeah, same for me. I've been playing a lot of flight sims back then. Yeah, wasn't it weight loss? That was awesome. Particularly since they actually created this campaign mode. I loved that. I actually dumped loads of hours into that game. So, by the way, what's the depth here? Yeah, it's still 2,000 feet, says the map. So, well, before going on, let me be AFK just for a minute. Okay, evening. We still see a bit of the sun ahead. Well, some light over the horizon. Don't go away, I'll be back in 60 seconds. Sorry guys, give me one more minute. Alright, back again. So I missed a bit of the chat. Flying Circus. Yep. Yeah, I once started to take a look at Flying Circus, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of had the feeling that they were just selling the same thing again. But maybe I didn't dig deep into it enough. Yes, I am actually having a glass of Weißweinschorle. So cheers, guys. Nice to have you with me. Yeah, you can. Yeah. So, what was I just about to do? Let's go for hydrophone check. Guys. Okay. I actually pressed the wrong button, didn't I? So, guys, we don't need alarm. Let's hope that this works now. That workflow, yeah, looks like it does. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the crash dive button instead of the routine check button, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I just recognized that it's only 1:45 around here, so we could still do a bit of streaming together. So there we are, going down, and so what's gonna happen? The crew brings the boat down in standard workflow to 50 meters, and when we are down there, they're gonna turn off the propellers. By the way, Mr. Schneider, he's doing a good job doing the routine of maintaining the torpedoes all the time to make sure that whenever we run into an enemy, the maintenance level of the torpedoes is okay. And it looks like he is doing a good job.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we were talking about homemade meat, and maybe that would be one of my next projects. I might have mentioned that I had been brewing my own beer, but it's quite some years ago that I did that last time. I think my last brewing session was something like 3 years ago, and it's the hell of a lot of work. And yeah, maybe meat, it's good compromise. It's great taste and it's homemade and it's not quite as much work as brewing beer. Yeah, you don't have to do the, how do you call it, mashing? Or the malting, yeah, that's it, exactly. To convert the starch into sugar. That's a lot of work, and then do the filtering. And that you don't have with meat. So, yeah, I have to keep that in mind. It slipped through my attention again. We had been talking about meat several times, weight loss. And, yeah. Really would love to do that. I just had a funny association how you write it. Yeah, filtering you still have to do. That sounds a bit like Yoda speak, does it? Filtering you still have to do, young Skywalker. Don't know why I got that association. Sorry, I didn't want to make fun about what you wrote. And I did meet once. Okay, weight loss. So sorry for me apologizing all the time. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. By the way, let's check. Hey guys, why didn't you stop?
Alle Maschinen.
So
Stopp.
yeah, it didn't really work. So I confused the crew with first doing the crash dive order and then doing the standard hydrophone check order. Seems like the crew got confused. Wind speed is only 3 knots, so we should have perfect hydrophone range. Yeah, more than 90 miles. So let's do that for 5 hours. 5 minutes.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
And we have to do it manually because I think the workflow got bugged.
Meter.
So nothing to hear. All right, if it's like that, let's get back to the surface.
Anblasen. Halbe Fahrt voraus.
And pick up speed again. So, Mr. Grade opening the valves. What's happening? We have our compressed air around here, and the compressed air is now being pushed into the ballast tanks, pushing the water out back into the sea where it belongs. It's funny, sometimes there is this situations in a conversation when I would like to imitate this Yoda speak, and I never really managed to get it done. Yeah, hey, great, you got it. Speak like Yoda, you would. Much to learn, you still have. Yeah, hey, great. But I never get that. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, in one of the last streams we had been talking about Star Trek and Next Generation and everything. And yeah, let me just remark that I still love the good old Star Wars trilogy when it still was a trilogy. Star Wars, then Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. These three, they are really my favorites still. I've been watching the other movies as well, but none of them. Yeah, I digged none of them like I did dig these three. Although it was a bit before my time. So. Part 1 and Part 2, that was before my time, but well, maybe I shouldn't say that because this reveals a lot about my age. But Part 3, Return of the Jedi, that one I actually watched in the movie, in the cinema, watched the movie in the cinema when it was new, I think. I guess. Not 100% sure, I was pretty young back then. Star Wars binge, yep. Rook One, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. That's pretty tough. So did somebody turn on the compressors? Yeah, somebody did. Very good. What about the stores? Yeah, we're still fine, and we are regaining discipline like that, although fatigue 13. Oh god, that's a lot. Let's give it another save. And yeah, come on, let's carry on. And there must be some enemies around here.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
On we go. And the mouse police never sleeps. If anybody could tell me where this comes from, it's a quote from that band Jethro Tull. They have this song. The mouse police never sleeps, but I thought it was a quote, but I never quite got where it was from. Hey, this night I always get spammed by Twitch messages. Yeah, great. You're now eligible to get 3 drops for Escape from Tarkov. Yeah, well, guys, I think Escape from Tarkov is a great game. But yeah, for me, it's just a bit too stressy. We were talking about that before. Hey, Oblivion, nice to have you in. Good evening. Yep. So, that's Canada. Yep. Carrying on a bit. Yeah, let's have our bosun do some navigation to keep it up. We are down to 77%, so it's just decent that he's gonna do some navigation for the next watch. What's a poutine? Is it like some kind of dish? some typical food. Well, I'm always interested in the local food. Poutine. I think it's some kind of food, isn't it? Let me guess. It's kind of a mashed potato and cheese. Ah, okay. Yep. Hey, I'm always a bit suspicious about these kind of dishes where you have gravy, but there is nothing to explain where the gravy comes from. So if you have a roast, it would produce gravy, but yeah. French fries, okay. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I would like it. Just today I was discussing our next summer holidays with my wife, and after we had been visiting Ireland, some goal that over all the years we wanted to go to Ireland that we never managed to do, and last year we did. And so we were discussing like our next goal might be Canada, particularly because the uncle of my wife lives in Canada, in Quebec, and we never visited him there. Only problem is that if I look at my schedules, I will probably not be able to have more than 2 weeks of holiday next summer holidays, and for going to Canada you would need 4. But well, times will change and I need to go to Canada. Hey, yeah. So I see that there is quite some people in the stream who love food like I do. So for me, food is always some beautiful topic to talk about. But talking about talking, maybe I should stop or reduce talking a bit, and yeah, let's do one more hydrophone check.
50 Meter.
Let's see what we get. I really would love to sink 2 more ships so that we can finally get back home, having fulfilled this first level thing of Operation Drumbeat. This one here, 50,000 tons. Yeah, tonight it was pizza around here. Homemade pizza. Actually, I did several pizzas. 1 salami, 1 bacon, 1 mushroom and bacon, and 1 spinach. And yeah, the spinach was a mess because the spinach was bringing just too much moisture towards the pizza. So I even had problems to get it into the oven, and then problems getting it out of the oven. It was, well, from taste point of view, it was pretty fine, but yeah, it was a mess.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Meter. Herr Kapitän?
Okay, there is 1 target there. Single unit, medium speed. I should try to get that guy. single. Is it the first single contact we get in this mission? I think it is. Pretty far away, but yeah, I'm gonna chase that guy. It's BB.
45 Meter.
Let's hope that we can get that guy before it leaves the BB quadrant.
Heilung 345 Grad.
Another one. Ah, nice. This one and one more. Also moving away. Maybe I would better like to go after that one. Single 02.
Herr Kapitän?
Yeah, maybe I'm better going after that one. By the way, guys, I always see that the number of watchers is going up again. So great to have you in.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
And even if the chat feels like the chat of some old acquaintances, don't hesitate to just drop in and join this chat. I'm always curious about where you're from, what your relation to the game is. Are you a well-experienced U-boat hand or just new and want to learn some features about how things work? So, yeah. But on the other hand, don't feel pushed. If you just watch, it's perfectly fine. You're anonymous as long as you don't join the chat. And just watch silently if you like that. Perfectly fine for me. Yeah, the hydrophone check must be finished any minute. I always get these Escape from Tarkov messages there. Guys, I love Escape from Tarkov, but I wouldn't play it at the moment. Just too stressy. If I want to do some relaxed gameplay, it will definitely not be Escape from Tarkov in the evening. Yeah, I warmly recommend it. If you're kind of a naval nerd like me, or even just interested in how things might have been working back then, this game is just great. It's the best submarine simulation ever. SPT? Paul? Help me please. What is SPT? I'm always not good with these abbreviations. Yeah, right. Maybe I should do that. Might be that we had been discussing that. Yeah, I remember. I think we had been talking about that, and I think I put some note on one of my many pieces of paper that I have around here. Yeah, okay, yeah, Aqua, I think it was you, yep. Oh no, you are referring to that remark. Okay, alright. But we had been discussing that here in the chat quite some time ago about Escape from Tarkov. Pretty sure, and yeah, these are the things. There is a lot of notes here around, pieces of paper with loads of notes about games that we had been discussing here. I really have to kind of consolidate it. And the local single player Escape from Tarkov, that was definitely one topic that we had, and yeah, could be good. Could be good. there is a whole convoy up there.
40 Meter.
Medium speed. I think it's convoy 03 that we got in the game.
20 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, let's see if we can track down that guy.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr
Let's
Kaloi.
go to flank speed. Let's assume that this guy is moving with something like maybe 8 knots, like that, and us going with 17 knots. So let's go after them for 1 hour and then do another hydrophone check to get a second data point. So first data point here. Now we have no idea which direction they're okay, they are moving away, so they must be going something like there, but with the hydrophone checks we can get a very, very good picture of an extrapolation of their course. There we go, flank speed. Hey, that's an amazingly large amount of players in the stream over the last 2 hours. Thank you very much, guys. Let's take a look at the YouTube. Okay, on YouTube it's just 2 guys watching. Welcome anyway, great to have you in. But Twitch is actually buzzing a bit more than YouTube at the moment. Yeah, Twitch is my platform. Let's turn on the pump just for a bit to get the water out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that in mind and try out single player Tarkov. So it's 10:15. Let's go for 11:15. Here we are. And at that point, let's just do another
Tauchen auf.
hydrophone check. Yeah, having another Weißweinschorle, which is wine diluted with water. Yeah, I wasn't a wine drinker. Coming from an area where beer was really standard, but since I'm living around here in this kind of wine region, I'm drinking actually more wine than beer, I have to admit.
Meter.
Yeah, with water, wine with water, and I think they would put
Schraubengeräusch.
some honey into it to
300
sweeten it, right? Wouldn't they?
45 Meter.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 355 Grad. Ja,
Now let's see what we have. It's this guy, alright.
50 Meter.
Single O2. Even slower than I thought, maybe.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 135 Grad.
And now this guy. Single unit, closing in, high speed.
45 Meter.
That's interesting. High speed might be, what would it be? 1 hour, 14 knots. Ten knots, maybe. Yes, something like that, yeah.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, it will be out of range soon, that convoy.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Okay, there we go back to the surface.
Aktuelle Tiefe 40 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, back there to the surface. Let's see if we can chase down that guy.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
If he is moving with 7 knots, after an hour he will be there. And what about us? 1 hour would bring us here. So it's 11:30. Let's go for 12:30.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Like that. Let's give it a save.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
What's our distance to their keel line? Just 1 mile. Yeah, we are really chasing that guy.
Schornsteinrauch. Peilung. 30 Grad. Handel. 30 Grad.
Shall we try to get that guy? What is it? Can we recognize it at 30 degrees? Yeah, there it is. I think it's unarmed. That's one of the good old unarmed transports that we had. It's this one, isn't it? Seven. Eglon bow at the moment, more or less 90 degrees. And what about the distance? Shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah, I think in this situation you are pretty right.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 6, 3,
Yeah, I got your meaning, yeah.
Lage 8, 9 links. Geschwindigkeit 7 Knoten.
Let's give the save.
Torpedo vor 1 gewartet. Torpedo vor 2 gewartet.
Jack Bauer? Who was Jack Bauer? Or who is Jack Bauer? I don't know that one, I have to admit. I just know Jack Ryan from the TV series, streaming series. So it's Swedish. What should I do with the Swedish ship? Yeah, John Reese, that kind of rings a bell. So all of you guys in the stream, what do you think should I do with that Swedish? Board it and check it, or sink it right away? Yeah, investigate, right? Acquiescing. Yeah. Let's see if we can board it. If we get close and they start zigzagging, trying to avoid us, then we know that they have something to hide, and then we can just sink it. But if we can board it, let's check it. Some cinnamon. Why do you think that the Swedish ship should have some cinnamon? One of the most weird things that I learned in Sweden was that they love ice cream with a very weird sauce. With, I don't even know the English name, lakritz. They put cinnamon into fucking everything. Licorice, yeah. They put licorice onto just fucking anything just as well. By the way, please, guys. Sorry, I have to be AFK just for 1 second. Be back in a minute. guys, thanks for your patience. Back again. A Zomboid is permadeath. Well, nah, not quite, right? I'm not quite sure. I think you could adjust it like that you respawn or something. But yeah, in principle, as how I did play it, it was permadeath. So there they are. Right a beam. And it still looks like they don't start zigzagging to avoid us.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Funkraum besetzen.
Yeah, let's report that funnel smoke. We are not hiding.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
Yeah, so many people watching, so allow me to remind you that you can do some comments in the chat, and you are warmly welcomed. So I'm always happy to get comments. Always curious where you come from, what your experience with the game is, or, well, I also am perfectly happy with backseat driving. So many of you guys watching might have your own experience with the game and might have good ideas how to actually do it tactically. So don't hesitate to put your comments into the chat. And here we go.
Aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 3-7 Bug links. Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel.
I don't know how fast that guy is going.
Gegnerlage 9-7 Bug links.
Must be faster than I estimated. Hey, come on, their course is clearly going for an enemy. They're heading for an enemy port. There is only enemy ports around here. So pretty clear. It must be carrying forbidden stuff, contrabands.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, pretty sure that I'm gonna scuttle that guy. Hey guys, great to have you in the stream. So I always love to see that there are people who really know which games are good. Let me be so, well, egomaniac. And this one is really a great game. So wonderful to have you in. And don't hesitate to put your commands into the chat. And beautifully modeled with the sailors up there. Also sailors walking the quarterdeck. That's great. That's just great. And that's us intercepting the guys.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Let's give it a save. To be safe.
Herr Kapitän? Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, you respawn, don't you? Yeah, you lose your skills and your equipment and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, for a Project Zomboid, I quite like it. These are the kind of games where I pretty much like permadeath. That's the challenge. So it's always like, yeah, you don't play it endlessly, but you exactly know. Like in the intro, I love this sentence in the intro of Project Zomboid. This is the story how you died. So the game is actually about dying. The question only is how you die. And this is also, yes, pretty similar to DayZ, actually, which I might have mentioned it before. That's my long-term favorite next to U-Boat. N7 Day? What is N7 Day? You have to help me.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Yeah, come on, we are turning in on them.
Februar 4 gewartet.
There we are. Let's stop.
Maschinen, stopp.
Let's give it a save. And send some guys over there to inspect. Send a delegation. Mr. Grade,
Februar 5 gewartet.
get a gun. Mr. Arlos, you get some explosives. And Mr. Trummel, you get the helmet. Whatever that's good for. I think they had something in mind with these pieces of equipment, but they never implemented it yet. So let's get the guys over to inspect that ship. It's pretty deep in the water, isn't it? So here we are. The captain of this freighter helps your crew to get on the deck and greets you with a willkommen. He then introduces himself as David Case. He speaks English, knows only basic German. Sadly, that turns out to be quite problematic. Ask for the shipping documents. Headed to the port of Halifax. We confirmed that this freighter is involved in military activities. We can sink it without risking an international incident. Order evacuation. Okay, alright. You tell the captain that your orders obligate you to sink this freighter and that they must evacuate immediately. The captain isn't happy, but he's doing it. So, yeah, very good. Wolvaloo. Exactly, that's what we want to have. So, scuttle without using explosives. That's what we are going to do. Sink that ship. Using the engineering skills, and down they go. That's pretty fast. Alright. Let's see how much tonnage this is gonna be. And we can save the sailors. Hey Beatbox, good evening. Or whatever time it is at your place. Around here it's pretty late. It's 1:30 in the morning. And yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty much enjoying that late night stream again. Had a fairly okay-ish smooth run out of the week. Some meetings in the morning, online, spending the day in home office. That was pretty relaxed and calling it a day rather early. So, how are you? How was your day? Yeah, U-boat is going pretty fine. So if you look at the big picture, I am just about finishing this Operation Drumbeat first set of missions, going to 50,000. I need just one more ship to sink. And now the question really is, maybe I'm going to go after that one. That was a contact I had before. Yeah, crazy for milk cows. I actually, what is the, what do you win when you do have several milk cows available? Okay, alright, so we're in the same time zone. Yeah, you can position them all around, yeah. At the moment, I'm perfectly fine with just one milk cow positioned there, but we will see. And I understood that the milk cows actually could get sunk, for example, by air patrols, so that might be also a point why you might want to have more of them than just one. Here we are. Let's report this to the headquarters. What about the internet? Well, let's save it. And then take a look at the interactions. Lifeboat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just one lifeboat left. 6, 7, 8. There we are, and the rest is gonna get some supplies. Let's transfer and yeah, help them. So this will push our reputation. A well-supplied boat, yeah. So here we are.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten
Let's
setzen.
go for this guy there.
Kurs setzen.
Keep it safe.
Halbe Fahrt
And
voraus.
start going flank. No, not flank, but just cruise. I should go flank right now.
Äußerste Kraft
I
voraus.
am now chasing that guy, which is moving pretty fast.
Kurs setzen.
Wonder if I could intercept the guys. And at 2 o'clock I'm gonna do another hydrophone check. Now, here we are.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kapitän.
Tauchen auf. 500
Let's
Meter.
see if we can establish contact to that guy again. Yeah, I always get these Tarkov messages. This is really spamming me.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Meter.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 10 Grad.
45 Meter.
Now let's see. Do we get? Let's see what we hear. Bit of water in the bilge. Completely uncritical, and here we are. Now, Mr. Preen, what do you hear? What can you tell us?
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
45 Meter.
High speed moving away. Single 05, but it might also be exactly that one. But let's stay down here, let's stay put and listen.
Meter.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Yeah, let's check if there is any other contact.
aufblasen.
Alright, there we go. Back to the surface. And it's just 2 o'clock. Just 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
25 Meter.
What's the depth under the keel? According to the map, it's still 3,000 to 4,000 feet underneath us.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Back to the surface.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Now, what can we do? Let's do another hydrophone check.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Hey guys, I think I'm gonna have to get me some little late night snack. Be back in a minute.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
– 25 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter. Meter. Meter.
The crunch commences. Yeah. All right. What do we have? This guy is moving high speed. Single O. What was it? 5. Is it really moving with 15? Be back in a minute. Right, back again.
Ja?
Any more contacts? No, only that one. There it is. Not quite sure whether it's worthwhile to go after him. Maybe would just slip away too fast. If they are going with 50 knots and we are going with 70, the delta V is just too slow to catch up with them. Too small. Okay, sorry guys, some munching and crunching. I am having some of these small salted pretzels. The crunch. Right, back to the surface.
Aktuelle Tiefe 20 Meter.
Auf ihre Druckprozesse.
Kakaloiden sind aufgetaucht.
All right.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay, nothing in view. Yeah, let's give it one more hydrophone check
50 Meter.
and see what we get. Yeah, all the Overwatch crew running to the front compartment. While the flooding valves were opened and water is streaming into the ballast tanks.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Okay, compressed air flasks are full.
Meter.
And listen, please.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Stellung 5 Grad.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Okay, my dead reckoning seems to be pretty alright. Hey, come on. That guy's just moving too fast. Yeah, thank you.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Elbe fahren. Voraus.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Alright. Okay, weird. Yeah, well, no ship around at the moment.
Bestätige.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Yeah, we are wonderfully sailing into the sunset. Look at that. How beautiful.
Ja?
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Can we? Or is it getting shallow? Only 400 meters around here. So from here to there, seems to be really a step in the sea bottom.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Meter.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Interesting observation. So you say the convoys are actually traveling in that area where you have shallow waters, right?
40 Meter.
Let's listen again.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Speed stopped, and that's the range actually. An enormous detection range. Yeah, well, the weather has been deteriorating. It's now 10 knots of wind speed,
40 Meter.
but that's still rather quiet. Medium speed moving away. Medium speed is probably
Aktuelle Tiefe
something like 8
50
knots. Distance 30 miles.
Torpedorohr 5 geleuchtet.
Herr Kanal,
Medium
Diese
speed.
Koordinaten setzen.
45 Meter.
So, by a hydrophone check, we detected this target there. Pretty much looks like a single transport, but it's moving with relatively high speed. And yeah, now let's see if we can get him. Let's see if we can track that guy down. Looks like he's going for the port of St. John. So most probably it's an enemy ship that we can sink. Hey Paul, yeah, that's right, 1 Fort Crunch. Yeah. So let me be straight, and I'm gonna stop the munching now and the crunching. Yeah, there we still are.
Anblasen.
And there we get back to the surface. Unblasen, that means somebody's opening the valves so that we can let stream the compressed air that we have in the flasks, that we stream it into the ballast tanks.
20 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kanal,
Yeah, as I said, I haven't been watching down Periscope yet, but I'm definitely gonna do that. Sounds like a nice movie I could watch together with my son, maybe. Yeah, I tried to get him onto that one. Star Trek Enterprise, that's the one, the newest one that you mentioned, right? Not the very old one.
AK voraus.
The newest of the classic, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I promise. I put it onto one of my little pieces of paper. Yeah, lately actually I had been watching that series of Jack Ryan, which was done by by Amazon, right? I think it was actually an Amazon production. And yeah, it's for how do you call it? 4 sessions, for 4 sets of, so you have something like 8 Staffel in German. But what is Staffel in English? Season. Yeah, it's 4 seasons. Each of them having something like 8 films, and I've been watching 3 of them, and I'm just starting the 4th one, and I quite liked it. Yeah, they use Tom Clancy as a brand and say it's produced by Tom Clancy, but I don't know. I guess they just paid a big bunch of money towards Tom Clancy so that they can use his name. Yeah, I think that's how things work. Yeah, season, yeah, right. But nevertheless, whether it was produced by Tom Clancy or whether it was just the name being bought in, I quite like them. I think there are a few things that you could criticize, but in total, it was very good entertainment. Very good action entertainment. So if anybody of you guys runs across that one on Amazon, Jack Ryan, just look at it. The series, actually. Not one of the standalone movies. Worth watching. And I actually got it for free. It was just like that. I had to watch a few advertisings on the way. So 1 hour now. And let's give it another hydrophone check.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Let's see if the guy is where I suppose
Fedoror 5.
he is. Yeah, let's turn on the pump for now.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Meter.
Now let's listen.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Let's see what we hear.
Schraubengeräusche. Große Gruppe. Peilung 65 Grad. 45
Moving away. Convoy 04. Moving away.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 0 Grad. 50 Meter. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Ah, that's them. So my speed estimation wasn't too bad. Single 6. So maybe it would be theoretically possible to get after them 8 knots.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
Yeah, we are on hydrophone check again. All the crew going down on silent running at 50 feet, 50 meters, and checking the hydrophone. What about the discipline? 96. It's alright, but it is dropping actually. Minus 13 fatigue per minute. That's quite a lot. So I think, yeah, if I have done all the way back, I think I have to go for a shore leave to have things relaxing. Sausages. Yeah, I think at the moment we're fine, but yeah, listening. We are not under attack, but at the moment we are diving to get a good listening cone.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Anblasen.
So there we are, getting back to the surface. Unproblematic.
25 Meter.
Yeah, we still have plenty of torpedoes.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloy, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Alright guys, I have one eye on the time. Yeah, it's 2:30 around here. But yeah, just in that moment I recognized that there are again people coming into the stream. And I just don't want to end the stream while I have that many people watching. So, guys, where are you from? I have 12 people in the stream now. That's at least what the overlay tells me. And yeah, I'm pretty curious who you are, what your relation to this game is. Are you an old hand? Or just trying to learn the ropes? Yeah, however, as I said, I'm pretty curious what we get to see tomorrow. So, maybe, yeah, we are gonna be able to chase down that guy. And yeah, that might be the final tonnage that's missing. We are just missing 1,200 tons to get that next level here. Yeah, would be great to get that. Hey, thanks Aqua Icing, same for you. Have a good and peaceful night cruise. So for us, it might be a good idea to go to bed. 2:30. Yeah, good time. I'm pretty sorry for we have so many people in the stream at the moment. So it's really, really hard to just say we quit it. But yeah, I really feel like I need to get to bed. So guys, have a good night. So Paul, weight loss, aqua icing, Vulvulu. Who else was in the stream? I think that was the main players, was it? It was a pleasure to have you. MRC, have a good night. Hey, Pit Pinsel, you are amazing. We have Pit Pinsel with us. So, Guy, that's a pleasure and an honor to have you with us. So, all of you have a good night. Sleep well and see you tomorrow.